These celebrities walked away from Hollywood to choose God. What happens when the most famous actors and actresses in Hollywood suddenly decide to follow God, despite the fact that they have made millions of dollars, are famous, and have millions of admirers at their feet? These moves startled the business and inspired millions of people in a society that is focused on red carpets, cameras, and applause. It wasn't enough for these famous people to just speak about their religion. They also gave up careers, income, and opportunities in order to pursue something more meaningful in their lives. In this video, we take a look at some of the celebrities that rejected Hollywood in order to devote their lives to God. 1. Kirk Cameron, from teen idol to evangelist. When Kirk Cameron was at the pinnacle of his stardom on Growing Pains, he was widely regarded as one of the most beloved young performers in the United States. Nevertheless, Kirk had a profound spiritual revelation. Despite the fact that Hollywood anticipated that he would continue on the road to superstardom, after converting to Christianity, he quickly turned down parts that were incompatible with his religious convictions. Instead of chasing popularity, he focused on evangelism and ventures rooted in his beliefs. Kirk's decision to leave mainstream Hollywood came as a surprise to his admirers, but he believed that God's calling was far more important than his star position. 2. Candace Cameron Bure, choosing values over roles. Candace Cameron Bure, who is most known for her legendary performance as DJ Tanner in the television series Full House, had every chance to remain at the forefront of the limelight in Hollywood. In spite of this, she made the decision to take a step back and choose parts that were respectful of her Christian values, rather than just taking anything Hollywood had to offer. Later on, she gravitated toward faith-based films and networks that were congruent with her beliefs and principles. Many people were taken aback by the fact that she would put her mainstream career at risk. Nonetheless, her choice demonstrated that she placed her relationship with God before celebrity, influence, or income. 3. Chris Tucker, comedy star turned faithful believer. Chris Tucker was formerly considered to be one of the highest paid performers in Hollywood, particularly following the distribution of the Rush Hour films. However, when Tucker was at the pinnacle of his career, he turned away. How come? Mostly due to the fact that his developing Christian beliefs made him reluctant to take on parts that were packed with profanity or immorality. When Hollywood learned that Tucker had rejected millions of dollars for projects that did not match his ideals, they were unable to believe it. He made the decision to live a life of faith rather than pursue blockbuster payouts, which took the industry by surprise and demonstrated that conviction was more important than financial gain. 4. Angus T. Jones, the young star who walked away. The role of Jake Harper on 2.5 Men brought Angus T. Jones to the attention of the general public. In the history of television, he was one of the kid performers who earned the biggest salaries. On the other hand, as Angus became older, he went through a kind of spiritual change. In front of everyone, he made a public declaration that the program was in contradiction with his beliefs, and he astonished everyone by leaving the show at the pinnacle of his career. He made the decision to leave behind millions of dollars and instead choose God over Hollywood, demonstrating that faith can triumph over even the most alluring fame and money. 5. Alice Cooper, from shock rock to shock faith. A defiant image and chaotic performances were the foundations upon which Alice Cooper built his career, earning him the title of Godfather of Shock Rock. He had been dealing with addiction and emptiness for a number of years before he finally converted to Christianity. Cooper made the decision to live his life with religion at the heart of his life rather than pursuing the rock star lifestyle that had formerly defined him. The darker elements of his previous identity are no longer a part of his life, even though he continues to perform. Fans and many in the entertainment industry were taken aback by his decision, which demonstrated that even rock celebrities may choose to serve God above celebrity. 6. Stephen Baldwin, turning fame into ministry. As a member of the famous Baldwin acting family, Stephen Baldwin was able to achieve consistent success in the Hollywood industry. However, when he became a Christian by the grace of God, his life took a dramatic turn for the better. Baldwin started to openly discuss his religious ideas, and he often declined assignments that were in direct opposition to his convictions. As a result, Hollywood continued to distance itself from him, and prospects decreased. But Baldwin didn't mind since he considered it to be a part of his vocation. The decision that he made to devote himself to ministry, outreach, and service rather than remaining in the Hollywood system was a revelation to both his supporters and his detractors. 7. Montel Jordan, leaving music for the church. One of Montel Jordan's most famous songs was "This Is How We Do It," which became a huge success. With his popularity, fortune, and supporters all around the globe, he seemed to be unstoppable. But Jordan's decision to leave the entertainment business and pursue a career as a pastor came as a complete surprise to the music industry. With his life, he chose to devote himself to the ministry rather than chasing further recordings and tours. In the process of removing himself from the flash and glamour of the music industry, he made it quite obvious that his religion was more important than chart-topping achievement. Fans were left in awe by his courageous action. 8. Dave Chappelle, walking away at the peak. Dave Chappelle's decision to walk away from a $50 million agreement with Comedy Central was a shocking one for the entertainment business. Despite the fact that it was not a typical conversion story, despite the fact that his path is complicated, Chappelle has discussed the ways in which his spiritual values as a Muslim were in tension with his stardom. He left Hollywood and disappeared from the public eye for a number of years, placing a higher value on tranquility, family, and religion than he did on wealth and celebrity. The choice that he made astonished his followers and demonstrated that there are occasions when choosing God and inner peace requires one to forego the prosperity of the world. Conclusion: this is the fantasy that Hollywood presents to its audience. Power, fortune, and unending fame. These famous people, however, have shown that none of it can compare to the sense of calm and purpose that can be found in religion. It was the decisions that they took that rocked the entertainment industry, whether it was rejecting contracts for several millions of dollars or leaving legendary roles behind. It was not an easy task for them to walk away, but they believed that choosing God was more important than celebrity. Their experiences serve as a reminder to all of us that even in the realm of lights and cameras, the only way to experience genuine satisfaction is to walk with the light. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe for more.